Hello, my lovelies. Welcome back to my channel. I am Kelly Lee, and on my channel, I talk about everything I do spirituality and witchcraft related that I do in my everyday life, as well as aromatherapy, herbalism, and of course, tarot. Today, in the vein of me very much ruminating and thinking about things, especially with the passing of my soul dog here recently. And even before then, really, I have been thinking about death a lot, um, and how I grieve, how other people grieve, how just in general, how death is viewed by, the people around me and, the culture and the place I live in. And then, just thinking about other places and how they deal with death. And I just feel like death is being given a disservice. So today I want to talk about putting the love and ritual back into death. Because I feel like the process of death is very much glossed over. It's very much not talked about. It's not focused on. It's very much pushed to the side. And then once someone or a pet or something passes, you are expected to grieve in silence. You have like a grieving period, but after that, it's like most people just expect you to move on. And no one is really talking about the person or the thing who passed. So to get into it, I just wanted to talk about certain rituals that other cultures have surrounding death. One personal to me, in certain parts of Appalachia, there are death vigils, and there are, gatherings of if someone is passing and they're going through that final stages of death. Family, friends will gather, they will bring food, they will play music, and they will stay until that person has passed and has crossed over. And then in normal Christian everyday life, now, of course, we have, the wake and a funeral and a burial. But after that, you're on your own and you're grieving. The Jewish, they do what's something called sitting Shiva, which is, they sit with the body of the person who passed for like 7 days, I believe. There's a Japanese ritual where they move remains into an urn with chopsticks. Even animals have rituals and grieving processes surrounding death. Elephants will guard the body of one of them who have passed. Even elephants who are not a part of that herd, they will pass. They will touch their trunks to the body. Magpies will cover their deceased peers with grass. Chimpanzees will groom their dead. Some chimpanzee mothers, if their infants die, they will hold that baby for days. Whales, if they have an infant or, like a baby die, they will hold it up above the surface of the water, and other whales will guard them. And to say all of that, it is a beautiful, beautiful thing to recognize, to appreciate the life that has passed, to grieve the life that has passed, but also you're also grieving a life that you thought that you would have. Um, like when my mom passed when I was 21, I never thought that that would happen. So not only was I grieving my mom who died, but I was also grieving a future that would not have her in it. And every year that passes that something big happens, or even little things, I grieve all over again because she's not here. I grieve that she will never meet my partner, who is amazing and treats me with so much kindness and so much respect. And I grieve that my niece will never meet my mom. I grieve a lot of things, and so the grieving process never ends. And that is something that people don't really acknowledge. They don't really talk about. Um, they talk about, oh, it gets better with time, but that's not true. The wound is still there. It's just your body accommodates the pain, and it accommodates the scar tissue. The pain itself doesn't go away. And knowing that you are going to be grieving that person, for the rest of your life, and knowing that for most people, the only time that they will really acknowledge is the date of death, or on that person's birthday. Like this Wednesday is my mom's birthday, and she would have been 62, 63. So it's almost like society gives me a pass to grieve on that day, or to grieve on the day that she passed. And I feel like that's doing everyone a disservice. um I sometimes think, and this video is also going to be, like a stream of consciousness. I also think that when I hear of people mourning and doing, like the wailing and the keening cries, I sometimes am so jealous, um, that they are able to express their grief in such a loud, like, environment changing way. Um, Grief is supposed to make people feel. It is supposed to make you uncomfortable. It is supposed to make you contemplate things. It is supposed to make you contemplate, like, what comes next. And especially with my soul dog passing, I've really been thinking about that, and just how we need to bring more eyes on this and bring more information. Because most of the time we avoid sickness, we avoid weakness. If someone, is like in the hospital, we are so, and like, this isn't, like a bad thing, but we're so positive, and we're so, like, don't bring the mood down, don't do this, until it is like actively, like, no, this person is dying. And even then, people want to still be positive, and that's a good thing, but you need to accept the reality of what is happening and prepare yourself, but also rejoice in the fact that you got to love something so fully and so completely that the absence of its presence in your life will cause a continuance of grief. How beautiful is it that you loved something so much that even, with like my mom, 16 years later, I think about her every single day. I grieve her every single day. I think about her in the big moments and the small moments, and now I think about Fargus and think about how he would react to things, and how annoyed he would be at our newest addition, Ellie, and how she's pregnant, and how he would love those puppies. Um, Sorry, I just need a minute. I'm back. Um, but how lucky are we that we get to have these things in our life and get to have these people and these pets and these friends and these family affect us so thoroughly. And just thinking about grieving and how most people grieve in isolation and how they don't want to burden other people with their grief or share their grief because it will make others uncomfortable or sad, or and how even now people sometimes are hesitant to mention my mom, or to even bring up the fact, and that also does a disservice to myself, but also her memory, because if we don't talk about those who have passed, how will anyone remember them? We are the ones who are left here. We are the ones who carry on the memory, who carry on the love and the sadness, and everything in between. We are the ones who carry that on, and we are the ones who share those memories and keep that person alive for others. Like my niece, I will, once she is old enough, I will show her pictures of mom. I will talk about mom and how she laughed such a full body laugh. And what a privilege it is to be able to share those memories with others, to make sure that her granddaughter will remember her and will think of her. Um, and not only that, but also, we find it so difficult to understand when someone who, say, is diagnosed with an incurable cancer or incurable disease and ALS or what have you, and they know that they're going to waste away and they're going to die, but they want to choose the moment that they leave this place, choosing to die with dignity rather than wasting away. And I have found that some people shame them for that, choosing to take the easy way out, and cutting off the time that their family or those around them have with them. But choosing to die with dignity in itself is something that is so respectable, because that is knowing yourself and knowing those around you and having the courage to choose to do that rather than waste away and having that choice taken from you. I think that that is something so breathtaking and so respectable. And I think that more states should legalize that. More people should talk about it. because when you know that there is no cure, that there is no way that you will survive, you want to hold on to whatever piece of yourself that you can, and knowing that at any given point in time you could become someone else, and choosing to not be is, in my opinion, very, very courageous. But just talking about grieve out loud, share your memories, talk to those people who remember them as well, share your stories. I talk about mom a lot, and sometimes I can tell that people are uncomfortable, but I won't ever stop, because my mom was a wonderful person and she deserves to be remembered. So I will always talk about her. Also, side note, I did not expect to cry in this video, so that's even though I didn't even think about that, but talking about, grief and my mom passing and my soul dog passing. But also not even talking about grief when someone hasn't passed. Like, so my father, I have not spoken to my father in about 15 years. Maybe close, maybe we've had like random reach outs, but it's been probably about a decade or more. And grieving that, because when my mom passed, I didn't just lose her, I lost my dad as well. And grieving someone who is still here is a type of grief that no one really talks about, because you are choosing to let that person go because you know that it is not healthy for you, and would bring nothing good to your life. Grieving that is a uncharted territory. um, yeah, just take the time at some point today, tomorrow, whenever, to just grieve out loud, share your memories, share your stories. If you would like to hear stories about my mom, I will share them. If you want to hear stories about my soul dog, I will share them. Um, don't grieve in silence. Don't grieve in isolation. Because there are those of us out here who I will grieve with you. Um, Dying should not be this dark, hidden thing that happens. Dying is a part of life. Everyone and everything will eventually pass and will eventually die. And it is a beautiful process that should be processed in the light. Um, I will be thinking of my mom today. I will be thinking of my farfar. But as with death and grief, there is life, as in, my puppy Ellie. She is pregnant, so she is going to be, let me see if I can, hold on. She is going to be bringing at least three puppies into the world. We're going on Wednesday, my mom's birthday, to get a final count and final number of how many she is going to be having. But talk about those who have passed. Share your stories. I would love to hear them. I know others would as well. But thank you. Hi, Ellie. Now she's like, love me. But thank you for stopping by. Thank you for watching. I hope you all share memories and talk about those who have gone before us. I wish you nothing but blessings and growth, and I will see you next time. Bye.